high pressure regulator on the DM8. So let's go ahead and first things first, let's remove the macro line. Now the regulator on the DM8 is very similar to the Hyper 3 regulator. It's basically just a Hyper 3 regulator with a rubber grip on it. So what we'll do is go ahead and remove it from the gun. Go ahead and remove the macro line. And then what you just want to do is slide this rubber grip off of the regulator. Okay, now you can see the bare bones of it. This is basically just a milled down Hyper 3 regulator. Now what you do is you grab it by the centerpiece right here. It's the easiest way to take this apart. You got the centerpiece here, you have your little collar here that spins, you have the bottom cap and the top cap. So what you want to do is go ahead and you can go ahead and unscrew the top cap. Okay, now what you do is just you want to tap this on the table, which is about one of the easiest ways to get it out. Okay, so it will come out. There we go. Oh, still have a washer down inside there, so let's go ahead and use a small Allen key and get it out. There we go. Okay. So that's your piston and your washer stack. And now let's go ahead and remove the bottom cap. Okay, use your wrench and unscrew your bottom cap. And once your bottom cap comes off, you can remove your swivel. Once your swivel comes out, you can remove your adjustment nut. Okay. And once this comes out, there we go. And you have completely taken apart the Hyper 3 regulator for the DM8. So there's really not much to it. What you just want to do is take your favorite lube, put it on the piston here, clean out the inside here of any debris or any dirt. This is your adjustment nut. You just want to clean the bottom here. And that's about it. Putting it back together, make sure you have your washer stack put in there properly. Look through the bottom of the regulator like this. Make sure you line it up. Once you have it lined up, push it in. Screw down the top half. Take your swivel collar, put it on there. Now what you can do is take your adjustment out. Now, a pretty good starting point is about three or four turns out from all the way in is a pretty good place to start. So once you feel it start to give a little bit of resistance, back it out about 3 or 4 turns. Okay. Now screw the bottom cap in. Take your rubber grip and slide it back onto the gun. Okay. And once you get the rubber grip back onto the gun, then you just got to reinstall your macro line. Okay, so I'll just tighten this down. I always use blue Loctite on my fittings, works really, really well. So you just go ahead and screw that down. And that's it. You've taken apart your Hyper 3 regulator for the DM8. Next thing we're going to do here is show you how to take apart the bolt on the DM8. DMA Bolt, very, very easy to take apart. So basically it's just 4 parts. So I'll go ahead and slide this out. Sometimes you need to put a swab in through the front. Okay, out it comes. Now how you take apart the fuse bolt is actually very easy. First thing you want to do is remove this front O-ring. Okay, once the front O-ring's off, you can unscrew the top hat, set the top hat aside, and there is the cylinder, which is in the front, top hat, and your rear cap. Very, very easy. Wipe this down, lube it back up with your favorite lube. Set the O-ring on here. Let's go ahead and screw in the top hat. I'm going to wipe it down. Like I said, use your favorite lube. And once you're all done, slide it back into the gun. and tighten it down. And that's how you take apart the bolt on a DM8. Your low pressure regulator, and also how to remove your on-off knob in the front. What you're going to want to do, tilt the gun up. Now this bolt up here, you don't have to completely unscrew it, you just can loosen it. Go ahead and remove the back screw. Okay, and set that aside, and go ahead and remove your grips. The reason why you want to remove your grips is to make sure that you're not pinching any wires when you put this back together again. So you slide this back and away. And then now what you've got here, you've got this screw right here holds is what holds your grip frame on. This screw right here you do not have to worry about removing. And then you have this back screw here, which is what actually holds on the low pressure regulator. So let's go ahead and remove this screw, which is the back screw, and set that aside. Okay, now let's go ahead and remove the low pressure regulator cap. Okay, that drops out. And now what I usually do is I usually remove the adjustment nut. Okay, and then with a pair of needle nose pliers, I generally can just pull out the low pressure regulator. Out it comes. And then sometimes the piston will stay down inside there, so you want to carefully remove the piston. Okay, out it comes. Okay, now with the low pressure regulator, you're going to notice that you have a bunch of shims that look alike, and then you have two shims that are larger. So what you want to do is make sure that your shims are put in there properly. You can find out the proper way of doing it in the manual, but definitely want to make sure that your shims are put together properly. Okay, and then the two large shims are what actually go into the housing right here. So the two large shims go at the bottom, and the smaller shims go at the top. Now you're going to want to make sure that your shims are in there properly before you insert this back into the gun. So you want to make sure that your shims are pressed up against the base here once these are put. Once you take this out. Now what you just want to do is lube this up with your favorite lube. In this case, I'm just using Lurker lube, which generally works really well. Works really well here in Florida. So we'll just go ahead and take this and just lube this up really quick. Okay. And then now on your low pressure regulator, very important to notice that there is an indexing collar right here, or an indexing groove. The indexing groove is what faces down, and the set screw goes into the indexing groove. You got to make sure that you get that right, or you risk the chance of your low pressure regulator blowing out of the back of your gun. So line up the indexing groove, and then slide it back into the gun. Okay, and I can see through the top there that that is indeed lined up. Now what we'll do is we'll take the set screw, screw it down to lock it into place. Okay, that's locked into place. Now what you do is you take your adjustment nut, put your favorite lube on it, clean it up. Now what I usually do, a good place to start with your DM, and like I said, every gun is different, so you got to set your own gun. Basically what I do is I generally screw this in until it's about snug, and then I usually back it out 4 turns, and that's a good starting place to adjust your regulator. So that's about snug there, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's generally a really good place to start. Now every gun is going to be different, so you adjust your reg however you want to adjust your reg. Make sure that your gun is shooting with no drop off, but like I just showed you, it's generally a very good place to start, 4 turns out from snug. Now if you're ever having an issue with your on-off leaking, this is how you remove your on-off. There's a screw right here, this is what holds your grip frame on, and then there's a screw in front of it. The screw in front of it is what's actually holding on the on-off knob. So what I usually do is just unscrew this out of the top, okay, and set that aside. And then sometimes if your hands are full of lube, okay, you can pull that right out. So there's the on-off knob. Now if you want to replace this with a CP continuous flow or something like that, that's up to you. But that's how you remove the knob. If this is